Today we're going to flow slowly through a heart opening sequence. We're going to start on our back for a bridge pose. Gently come to the middle of your mat, lay all the way down, and bend your knees. Graze your heels with your fingertips to make sure that your feet are hips distance apart, and then push into your feet to lift your hips up. Make sure that you're pressing evenly from both feet, so the right foot to the left foot, and then also from the heels to the toes. If you feel your knees are opening out, press a little bit more towards your toes. Make sure that your breath is even, so 4 to 6 count inhale and a 4 to 6 count exhale. One vertebra at a time, lower down. Take your feet wide the width of the mat and drop your knees to the left side. They don't have to come all the way down to the ground. We're just looking for a release in the lower back and the IT band area. Come back through center and drop to the right. Make sure you're taking deep breaths. Come back to center and bring your feet back for a bridge pose round 2. Lift your hips up, and this time interlace your fingers behind your back. Scoot your shoulder blades down your back one at a time as you gently rock side to side. Good. Then press the entire length of your arms and your feet evenly into the ground. Keep that heart lifted and keep your breath deep. Release your hands and release your spine slowly. Bring your knees to your chest and crunch up so your nose comes towards your knees. Release your head. And release your legs. Hold on to one or both knees to pull yourself up, and we're going to transition to a tabletop for a cat-cow. So come onto your hands and your knees, and make sure your hands are directly underneath the shoulders. With the next breath in, gaze up. Drop the belly, and feel all that length that you're creating from your belly to your heart. As you exhale, come into your cat pose. Your chin comes to your chest. Relax the neck here and gaze towards the knees. With the next inhale, slowly come back into your cow pose. This time, focus on squeezing the shoulder blades. Now, as you exhale, flow into your cat. Engage your abdominals. And continue to flow slowly through these 2 poses, using that 4 to 6 count breath that you found earlier. You can continue or take any other movements to warm up your spine. Find a neutral spine, and then lower down to your elbows. We're going to find Sphinx pose. So bring your knees back so that you can drop your hips down to the ground. Lift your heart and your gaze slightly up. Make sure that the elbows are directly underneath the shoulders. Your palms face down. Press lightly into your hands so you can lift your heart up, finding length in your front body. Dig your toes into the ground. Keep the legs engaged. And for a half frog pose, take your right knee out to the side so the inside of the knee faces the ground. You'll feel a nice big stretch right here in your right hip. Feel free to stay as you are. If you want to create a little bit more space in your belly, take your hands underneath your ribs and press your arms up. For a twist, you can gaze towards your right toes. You'll feel a lot of space here in your left hip flexor, your belly, and your right hip. If you're on your hands, come back onto your elbows, and let's switch sides. So bring the right leg in, left knee out. Inside of the knee faces the ground. Stay or bring your hands under your ribs and lengthen your arms. Maybe twist and gaze towards the left toes. Gaze back to center. Come back down to your elbows and bring the left leg in. Lower all the way down, bring your hands on the outside of your shoulders and push yourself into a child's pose, bringing the hips towards your heels, your forehead down to your mat. You can extend your arms forward or down by your side, whichever you prefer. This is a great counter pose for the back bending we just did. Bring your palms together like you're giving yourself a high five, and take them up overhead, keeping the elbows on the ground. Release your hands. Come to a tabletop and lower back down to your elbows. Back down to your belly, and this time extend your fingertips forward. Bend your right knee. And this time, we're going to reach back with our right hand for a bow on. Now, lift your heart, your gaze, both arms and both legs. Press the right foot into the hand so that you can open up through your right shoulder. If your hand and your foot don't come together, don't force it. Just focus on rolling through your shoulder and lifting the heart. Find a locust pose by staying lifted and releasing your arm and your leg, and then lower all the way down. Bend your left knee and reach back with your left hand. Gaze forward and lift. Both arms, both legs. Stay lifted and extend the left arm forward, the right leg back. Locust pose. And release. Hands outside of the shoulders. And push yourself up and back. Child's pose. Let's find a downward dog. Come to a tabletop and then push through your hands to take your hips up. Separate your feet hips distance and warm up in your legs by bending one knee and then bending the other. Find lots of length in your back. Make sure your biceps are by your ears. Bend your knees and look to your fingertips. Find a forward fold ragdoll. Take your hands onto your elbows. Bend your knees here so your belly button rests on your thighs. You can take any small movements that you'd like to decompress the spine and the neck. Release your hands and take your time as you roll up. Mountain pose, take your arms up. As you exhale, find forward fold, hinging from your hips, softening the knees once you get to the bottom. Flat back, inhale, straighten the legs and the back. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees again. Mountain pose, inhale. And hands to your heart. Again, mountain pose, flowing with that 4 to 6 count breath. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Step the left foot back in a warrior 2. Take your left heel down to your mat as you cartwheel your arms open. Make sure the right knee and the right toes point forward. Flip your right palm and lean back into a reverse triangle pose. Make sure your right leg is straight. Now for a triangle pose, keep the legs as they are and lean forward, taking the right hand somewhere on the right leg, maybe the shin, maybe the ankle. As long as your shoulders and your hands are stacked and you feel open in the left shoulder. Bend your front knee, find warrior 2 again. Flip both of your palms up this time. Inhale, arms overhead, and pivot your right toes in. For a wide-legged forward fold, let's take our hands behind us and interlace. Inhale, lift your heart, and then exhale, fold forward with this shoulder stretch. You can let your knuckles go up. You can let them fall a little bit forward if that feels okay for you. If it doesn't feel good, you can also just hold on to opposite elbows. So right hand holds on to left elbow. Gently release your hands. Bring your feet a little bit closer, and then inhale, reach your arms up. Warrior 2 facing the front of the mat. Bend your right knee. Reverse triangle, inhale, straighten the right leg, and cartwheel both of your hands down to frame your right foot. Step it into your forward fold. Halfway lift, forward fold. This time the right foot goes back for warrior 2. Arms open. Find the depth in the left knee that feels good for you. A depth that will help you open up your left hip, but also a depth that feels strong. Reverse triangle. Straighten your left leg as you lean back. Triangle. Lean forward, left hand on the left leg, right arm up. You can bring your gaze up if it feels okay on your neck. Otherwise, you can gaze down. Feel that hamstring stretch on the left leg. Warrior 2, reverse triangle. Hands down, and downward dog. Lower to your knees and to your elbows. Make your way towards Sphinx. Bend your right knee and take it out to the side so the inside of the knee faces the ground. This time, lift your right elbow and thread the needle. Take the left arm underneath so that the left hand holds on to the right knee. Open up the right arm up and then all the way out to the side. Final twist. Slow your breath down even more, and that will help to signal the muscles along your spine to relax and stretch in this pose. If it helps you feel more grounded, you can stack your knees on top of each other instead. Go ahead and find your Sphinx pose and reset, taking your right leg back in. And the left leg out. Inside of the knee faces the ground, lift the left elbow. Thread the needle, right hand underneath to the left knee. Left arm up and open. Take the left arm back in and find your Sphinx. This time, hands under shoulders, push into child's pose. Allow your spine to round. Moving into our final relaxation, take any shape here that you'd like, anything that feels good for you. With your next inhale, begin to invite small movements back. Maybe rocking your head side to side, or maybe rolling out your wrist or your ankles. Take your time to bend your knees, roll over to one side, and come up into a seated position. Take your hands to your heart center. Take 3 deep breaths to close your practice. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste.